Well, hello everybody, good morning, and welcome back to the channel. And today I want to tell you about the things I love and the things I hate about Frankie, my 2018 Kawasaki Z1000SX. Now, I've owned this bike since March of 2020, so it's coming up to 4 years of ownership now, and just under 24,000 miles. And in that time I've completely fallen in love with this bike. It does everything you want. It's a good or great all-rounder. It can do highways, it can do country roads, it can do city. It can't do off-road very well. I mean, it can do it, probably not very well. You can use it for touring, as you've seen that I've done. You can stick a top box and 2 panniers on it. I've got the panniers now that I bought second hand, and I had to sort of drill out and adapt. Still a work in progress on that front. I might paint them, but I wouldn't recommend that you do both the panniers and the top box at the same time, because I had an issue with the subframe. There's a maximum weight there, and so yeah, I love all of that. I think it does a really great job. I love the looks of this bike. I love the sort of faired looks. To me, that's what a motorbike should look like, with a a bit of a fairing. I love the look of the exhausts. The sort of, people call them the bat wings, and they really knock it down, and they say, oh, they're horrible, change the exhausts. I actually quite like the look. I like the way it looks. I think it gives it a nice stance. It makes it look a little bit more chunky, makes it look a bit more kind of settled. I like the exhaust. I like the looks with a pointy nose. And at the same time, even though it's got the looks, it's got the high bars. So the bars are really high here above the yoke, so the riding position is quite comfortable. You're not down on your wrists, you're not hunched over. So I quite like that. I love the level of equipment that this bike has. It has all the electronics and equipment that I think I need at this point in time. So it's got power modes and traction control, which, as you know, I have just stuck it in highest power mode, lowest traction control, and I don't muck about with it. It stays there. It's got ABS front and rear, and that's it. It's got nice headlights. What else do you want? It's got nice brakes, radially mounted. I just changed the brake pads. What's not to like? Oh, it's got fully adjustable forks. It's got fully adjustable a shock at the rear with a remote control, so you can up the preload here, and you can adjust everything else via a little screw. So it's got all of that adjustability that you'd want. If you didn't know already, this bike kind of crashes well. I have crashed it a couple of times now. I crashed it, right after I bought it, right after I installed these SW Motec crash bars. I crashed it on this side. In fact, in this very car park here, I put a link to the video, doing slow maneuvering, and I crashed it earlier this year again, in slow moving traffic, and I was a complete idiot, and I grabbed a whole lot of front brake when the wheels were turned, and it kind of crashed on this side this time. Got a little bit of damage here where the tank got dented, and I might get that fixed, but it's going to basically be a complete tank respray to fix that and get the tank looking nice again. Yeah, I think those are really the things I like. It's got all the power and all of the ability that I really need at this point in time. It doesn't have technology and stuff that you don't need, but it has all the ones that you do need. It's got the traction control, it's got the ABS, and that's it. Things I don't like, to be honest, it's a bit of a heavy beast. tends to kind of feel kind of heavy, especially at slow speeds. It doesn't feel like that once you get going. If you don't put the crash bars, and I'm glad that I've had these now since new, because if you didn't, you can get quite a bit of damage to the fairings. And you know, the paint isn't super thick, and there are a few bits in here where it's got easily damaged by the helmet and by the tank bag. So again, with the tank respray, that should all go away, should all come nice and clean again and look like new. The other thing I don't like is the chain can be quite a bit of a pain to get access to and to do maintenance on, because it's got the exhaust that I like the look of, but they kind of restrict access to the chain, so you can only really clean it and oil it on this bit here. You can't really access it much on the other side. So yeah, there is that. See if you can see it here. I've got downpipe grills which I fitted, and fitting the RNG downpipe guard, oh, this is a bit of a pain because RNG don't supply a replacement pop rivet that goes in there, so I had to come up with my own solution. But it works well. It's just a bit of a pain when I have to take the fairing off. And yeah, working on it and getting the fairing off is a bit of a faff, because you've got to get these crash bars out of the way, got to get underneath that and undo some screws to get that thing off. But other than that, it just comes off quite easily with some pop rivets and some screws. The other thing you know, it's not like that I don't like, I just think it's a very underappreciated bike. It's very underrated. It's not the sexiest bike model that people talk about. You know, it doesn't have all the latest whiz-bang technology and whatever. But as far as you know, as far as I know, that doesn't really matter to me. So yeah, not much to not like. I like it. I love the sound of it. It's super reliable. I haven't had any problems with it. I changed the oil myself. I changed the brake fluid myself. The only thing I really put it into the garage for is to do the valve checks, which is going to come up, and doing the spark plugs, which are a bit of a pain to get hold of. But everything else I've kind of done myself. So yeah, this is it. These are my thoughts on the Kawasaki Z1000SX, or as it's known nowadays, the Ninja 1000SX. So what about you? Do you own one of these? What do you like and what do you hate about yours? Okay. Well guys, thanks very much for watching. I appreciate it. I hope to catch you in the next video. But for now, this is NooBiker. Oh my god. It was all nice and quiet until I turned up. Might have to do this video somewhere else.